This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we are with you this hour. It is a free phone call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. If we're talking life, that means we're going to talk about money. And thankfully, my colleague Anthony's here to answer those questions. We'll talk about your work, because that income thing doesn't have to be so miserable. You can actually, love what you do and make the money you need. We'll talk some relationships. We'll talk whatever you need to talk about that is eating at you today. We are here. We enjoy coaching people up, and we are here for you. 888-825-5225. I'm coming off of the digital live stream event, the Get Hired event. A lot of people out there looking to level up, to keep on moving, and a lot of people getting serious. Coming out of COVID, coming out of the pandemic, they're getting serious about taking their money game to the next level as well. And there's no separating your work and your money. I mean, they're just tied together. And you have seen in your own journey, as well as in the lives of so many that you've coached, there's something to getting on purpose in your money and your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken, one of the things I've noticed, and I want to thank you for your digital event, because I had a lot of my young people sign up.
Oh, thank you, sir.
We pushed it on my platform, and I'm telling you, the testimonies that are coming from this event were just phenomenal. You really helped them understand their purpose. And I feel sorry for some people in the world, because some people actually lost some employees because of your event. Lost some employees. But then some gained some better qualified employees because they landed in their sweet spot. And that's my thing. When you can go to work every single day and at least be happy and passionate about what you're doing, then the next phase of your life on building wealth, getting out of debt is even easier, because now you can really focus on that.
Absolutely right.
And so I love that.
We are here for you. 888-825-5225. Let's start it off, in Los Angeles, California, where Mike joins us. Mike, how can we help?
Hey, guys. I had a question. I'm 21. I live with my parents. My income varies greatly every month, but I have about $100,000 saved up. I'm wondering what the best move is. How big of a condo or a house is too big? What's the size? What a down payment should be? And do I buy it and pay it off? Am I buying it and renting it out for another year? What's the smartest move?
Mike, where did you get this $100,000 from?
I am a freelance production assistant, and obviously I have no expenses living with my parents. So the last 2.5 years, I've been able to save that up. So
this is not inheritance. Your parents didn't give you this money. You've been working the last 4 years and just living way below your means, and just putting this money into the savings, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Cool. So on a worst case scenario, how much money do you think you can make a month?
Worst case?
Yes.
$2,500.
$2,500 in LA, which is not a lot of money. Okay. What is your best case scenario?
$13,000.
$13,000, which in California, that's good money for a 21-year-old. What are you averaging right now?
Maybe $4,000.
Okay, $4,000. Cool beans. So, and let me ask you this question. No school, right? You're not in school currently, correct?
No, correct.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to let Ken talk to the career side of things. On the money side of things, $100,000 in your savings account is great, okay? You don't need that for 3 months. I would definitely say in California, I'm from Oceanside, California, so I know exactly where you are in the LA area. You're going to need, for a rough case scenario, you need about at least 20 grand in your savings account for 3 to 6 months. And so that means you have about 80 grand that you can live off of. So I'm not going to suggest that you go pay cash for a home. I'm going to say go rent something until you can get a solid, consistent income coming in of at least in California, 5 to 8 grand for your age. So that way you have a comfortable lifestyle. But I'm not going to say go buy an apartment, go buy a condo. I'm saying go rent something. Get out there on your own, get that up beneath your belt for at least a year time frame, and Ken and you can walk through how do you get your income to be a solid at least 5 to 8 grand a month, guaranteed every month, bare minimum. Then after that, yeah, man, go purchase something and keep working and eventually pay it off early. But I do think that you should be moving out of your parents' house here relatively soon. If not this year, January of next year, you should have a game plan on how you get out on your own.
Yeah, Mike, my question is it tough for you to get a second job due to the nature of the production schedule where you kind of have to be on call? And I may be assuming that, but I'm curious.
No, that's completely correct.
Yeah. Well, listen, you've done a great job. I think AO's right. Are you feeling like you can't afford to get a roommate and at least rent for a while? Or are you just scared of it, or you've run the numbers and you don't feel like you can do that?
I'm just something I'm not really comfortable with.
Why?
And I feel like I'd rather, save up with no expenses at my parents than have a roommate at the moment.
Good. I mean, now I got to tell you. I mean, AO, you and Dave tend to be more on get out of the parents' house. Yeah. My position on living with the parents is, if there's no boundary issues there, and there isn't something when it's kind of making you feel less than or whatever, and this is a strategic money play because it's Los Angeles, because of that, I'm actually okay with your getting with it. But I acknowledge that if Dave were here, he's going to say what you said, get out of there soon. You're 21. You got a strategy here. I would be trying to work as much as you could outside of the production stuff. That's the only thing I'd add. I know you've got to leave yourself open, but I would keep socking money away. And I would get to a point in your head where it's not emotional, where it's, okay, this is logical. I actually can afford to rent and get an apartment and get a roommate or something. I do think you have to get there. I'm not saying it's got to be right away, but make sure this isn't an emotional thing. AO is what I'm saying. Like, you may be uncomfortable with it, but so what? You talk about this all the time. Absolutely. You tell young people, what do you tell them about being uncomfortable?
Man, don't allow your comfort zone to become your kill zone. And so I believe that he should step outside of his comfort zone. But I also want to echo what you're saying, Ken, is, if he has a strategic plan. Yes. And he's working that plan, and we see fruit of that plan moving forward, then absolutely stay there another year. I don't have a problem with that. I think Dave and I have a problem with when we have a lazy man or even a lazy woman.
And I agree with that too.
At home, there's no plan, there's nothing strategic, there's no goals. They're just comfortable, and they're killing their own future, and parents are killing their future because they're not aiming towards something, and we're seeing fruit from their labor. So I agree with you on that part, bro.
Yeah, no, good advice there. It's a sharp young man. I love that he saved up that kind of money. Yeah. And great advice on. He's got his emergency fund. I can keep stacking.
Yeah, if he's single, ladies, go get him.
There you go. You knew it was coming. AO, he's got the full circle advice there for our man Mike in Los Angeles. All right, don't go anywhere. We got more of your calls coming up. He's Anthony O'Neill. I'm Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your questions about life. You got your money questions? AO's got you. You want to talk about your work, how you may want to get promoted, make more money. Maybe you're not happy in your work. Maybe you're trying to figure out what it is you're supposed to do. So if you want to go from paycheck to purpose, I'll talk to you about that as well. But we are here for you, whatever your question. It is a free phone call, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. There are a ton of underrated holidays, and this is one of my favorites. May 2nd, coming up, is going to be National Life Insurance Day. It may not sound like the most fun, but it is important. Life insurance protects your family financially when you pass away. So they're not going to deal with money stress on top of losing you. Now, you need the right kind of life insurance. The only kind we recommend here at Ramsey Solutions is term life insurance. That's worth at least 10 to 12 times your income. Our free coverage checkup tool will help you find the right term life policy, plus other types of insurance you do and don't need to protect you and your family. To get your results, text CHECKUP to 33789. That's CHECKUP to 33789 to find the best coverage for you. All right, back to the phones we go. Toledo, Ohio is where Kyle joins us. Kyle, how can we help?
Hi, I'm 24 years old. I'm graduating from college in a couple of weeks, and I have about $40,000 saved up, and I have a salary job that I'm working. I make $70,000 a year. I have no student debt and my car's paid off. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can best, raise my credit score. I have a 715 right now, and I'm just trying to get my credit up so I can, get a loan for a house.
Interesting.
Wow. Way to go, Kyle. You're off and running, buddy.
Yeah, man.
What do you do for a living? I'm real curious.
Yeah. So, I do supply chain for a major corporation in the area.
Wow. And Ao's going to jump in on that financial question, but I'm just curious, going to ask one more thing here. What do you think your upward mobility looks like? Making $70,000 a year, you're in supply chain. What do you think the next couple of years looks like for you professionally, financially?
Yeah. So I have a really good job right now for the next 2 or 3 years, and then after that, I'll be making about 90 or 95.
All right, that's all I wanted to know.
And then from
That's pretty good, young man.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. How old are you again, bro? I missed it when you first said it.
I'm 24.
24. Okay, cool, great. Are you living at home with your parents, or are you out on your own?
Nope, I have my apartment.
Okay, cool, great, man. So let me ask you this question, because you said something about you got a 715 credit score. You want to raise it up a little bit more. Why? Why do you care about a credit score?
Yeah, so I'm just worried because I've never had to have a loan for like a car or student loans or anything that I don't show that I might not be like lendable essentially. Like, yeah, I have 40,000 now, but like I don't show history of like, hey, we've lent you money and we can trust that you'll pay it back. Okay. Essentially.
So no history. So
I only have a credit card.
You only have a credit card.
Yes.
Okay. What's on it right now? How much do you owe on a credit card?
So it has a $600 max. I usually put like $200 on it a month.
Okay. And then I guess you just pay it off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. So here's my thought process that I really want to help you walk through this. And this is what I hear from a lot of people, especially people in their 20s and in their 30s. Like, Anthony, I'm so scared to not have a credit score because I will not be able to purchase a home. I have no history showing if I do not have a credit score, I have no history showing that I can pay my bills on time. And that is a lie. Okay, that's a lie.
Okay.
You're paying your bills on time with your rent. You're paying your bills on time with your phone bill, your cell phone bill that you're calling in on right now, Kyle. You're paying your bills on time with your electricity bill that you're paying every single month. You're paying your bills on time with your water bill. There's so much history that you have that if you take that history, right, and you go to them and say, hey, can you print off a history of my rent payments, print off a history of my electricity payments, my utility payments, all this type of stuff, and you bring that to a bank that does manual underwriting, they will look at that history and grant you an approval for a home loan, not just because you have good payment history, but because you also have $40,000 sitting in the bank at 24 years old. You're also making $70,000 a year. here and you're not bondage into any debt, man, they will eat you alive. They will say, yes, son, let's go. We'll give you the house that you want because you are the best candidate for this particular loan. So when I hear people say, oh my gosh, I'm scared of a credit score, I'm saying, shut up. Because the credit score doesn't mean anything. A 700 credit score just simply means you love paying your debt. So, Cal, this is what I'm going to tell you, man. This is what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to calm down because I don't want to frustrate you. I know you're hearing like, man, Anthony, I just asked a simple question. Are you going off on me? I ain't going off on you. I'm going off on America. But here's the thing. Cut up the credit card, bro. Focus on building your net worth. Yes. Focus on putting cash in the account. Focus on building your dreams. Rock out with Ken Coleman. Let's figure out how do we get you 6 figures. Let's figure out how do we get 6 figures in your savings, 6 figures in your investments. Let's figure out how when you get this home, you pay it off and you own every single thing. Don't worry about a credit score. Right now, you need to worry about manual underwriting. Put more money into your savings account. I see you're in Toledo, Ohio, so you can get you a pretty good home right around $175,000 to about $300,000. Get 20% of that set inside a savings account. Cut up your credit cards. Get your income up. I mean, you're doing great, $70,000 a year.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so you're a great candidate, but don't fall into the trap that America is trying to do, bro. I'm telling you right now, you're in a great place. Listen to me, listen to Ken, listen to Dave, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm just going to add something to what Ayo said. He's absolutely right. You need to cut the credit card up. You're such a disciplined kid. You probably think that's okay, but it's not. It's just a temptation that you don't need. Cut it up. By the way, when you pay that off, that'll give you a little bit of bump in your credit score probably. so there's your little thing, but that's not what we're telling you to do it.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Don't also fall into the trap that I'm 24, I'm gainfully employed, making good money, so I'm throwing money away every month on rent. Yeah. That is a lie. That is a total myth. I just want to walk you through something really quick so that we can get you to a place where you realize, oh, I've been buying into a myth. How much of a house do you think you want to buy? I know you've already looked into it. So what price range are you thinking about?
So I was considering a $300,000 house just because it's really hard to get a house with a yard, and I want a yard for my dog.
Yeah, I get that. But again, you're 24, man. Yeah. Slow your roll. Your dog's fine. You can go out and walk the dog. That's how you meet the ladies anyway, right, Ayo?
Absolutely.
It's been a long time for me. I don't know how anybody meets women anymore. But the point is,
it works.
Is like you don't need a yard for your dog. Okay, but let's just say $300,000 is a reasonable amount of house for you. All right. Then we recommend a minimum of a 20% down payment. So do the math on that.
10 to 20. Yeah.
10 to 20. Yeah. Okay, we like 20. 10 will work.
Yeah.
Point is that you've got time to save up more money.
Absolutely.
And what Ayo said is absolutely right, because that puts you in a position to have even a bigger down payment, which means that you keep those expenses low and you're already further down the path to paying that house off because you are a financially responsible young man. I can hear it. Yeah. So don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket. You're not wasting money by renting. Do you hear what we're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, because that's a myth.
So just another quick question for you.
Real quick.
So when I'm listening in, I've heard that like Dave says, like, hey, you're a young guy. You're probably going to move soon with your jobs and such.
Yeah.
Like, so you're saying I should buy a house, not rent. And what I heard previously was like,
are you going to say,
are you moving?
Yeah, are you moving anytime soon?
I'm not planning on moving within 5 years.
Okay,
all right, then it'll be fine. Yeah. So everything we just said still the same.
Still do it.
But don't get in this big hurry.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. If I'm 24, I'm single, and I could buy a $200,000 house, that's more than enough space for me. Yeah. I'm not going to buy a $300,000 house, just for a yard for my dog.
For him, I'm buying actually a townhouse with a good backyard.
There you go.
I mean, that's what I'm doing, and this way I can pay it off.
Yes.
Save up money so when I get married, boom, I can buy a bigger house and rent that house.
That's where I'm going.
You know what I'm saying? Think, young man. Think.
Yeah, get that double income.
Yeah.
So now you guys can be married debt-free, no house payment. That's the idea. If you got to buy something, just buy what you need that's got some nice investment opportunity attached to it. Don't get in a hurry. Your dog doesn't care how big the yard is. Trust me. Hey, don't move. More of your calls coming up right around the corner. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your questions about money, your work and your career, how you move up. Maybe you need to move out, maybe you just switch, all because you've got a goal. You've got a very clear mountain you want to climb. AO and I are here to team up to help you. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply.
Well, I'm sorry. I was reading this question, and I like the way I like this one.
Yeah, this is right down your alley.
Today's question, King, comes from Jake in Missouri. Hey, Anthony, because I'm the only one single. When you are doing your budget, what category would you put dating expenses and paying for dating apps?
I actually want to know the answer to this, James. I'm really looking forward to this.
Or would you make that its own separate category? Also, AO, because I'm the only one single, how much money would you put in it? Should it be a % of your income or just an overall dollar amount?
Now, before you answer this, I've never looked forward to an answer as much as I'm looking forward to this answer to the Blinds.com question of the day. Take it away.
Blinds.com. This is the best one. In the 5 years
really
I've been on this team, this is the best one.
And by the way, single people all over the world, America, they're listening, and they're going, talk to me.
Hey, man, listen, man. But, you know, the reason why I'm laughing is because in the single world, when you mention you're on a budget, that's actually a turnoff. It is actually a turnoff to single ladies. They're like, oh, you're cheap? No, I ain't cheap. I just have a clear budget for what we're doing. So, yes,
I love it.
When you are dating, you should have a line item on your budget that says dating, and you know, there's different kind of things out there. Dating can mean multiple ladies or multiple guys, but dating is just simply, hey, for this month, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars on going out on a date. And so for me, as a single person who is dating, I do have a line item. It's not really a percentage. It's not really a certain amount. Once I cover my 4 walls, okay, once I cover my utilities, my housing, my transportation, and my food, and my mandatory bills, and then if I had debt, as long as I am eliminating my debt, then I'll set aside whatever you feel comfortable setting aside. So if that's $50 for the month, great. If that's $150 for the month, great. I wouldn't definitely do a large amount and in a large percentage. I would just definitely sit back and say, you know what, hey, you know, I'm gonna go out on a couple of dates this month with my young lady who I am dating or my young man who I'm dating, and we're going to go to the movies. We're going to go out to, you know, get a nice little meal. Cool, great. Put that on a separate line item, and for me, it's up underneath my leisure category. So like just spending stuff. Now these dating apps, I mean, come over to my show. I'll talk to you about the dating apps. I don't really feel comfortable talking about dating apps on the Ramsey Show.
Very well. Look at that. That was very political. You might as well be running for Congress. Yeah, you sidestep that,
buddy, because I can go a little bit deeper on the table with Anthony O'Neill.
Right.
But I mean, anything around dating, yes, you do want to have a line item. Make sure you cover your priorities and make sure that it is not a lot, but make sure it is comfortable to where you can enjoy yourself.
You know what occurs to me is, James, Kelly, we're married, right? So dates with my wife, it's a little different than when you're single. So, AO, I'm wondering if when you're single in the single game, are you spending more on those initial dates or do you spend less and eventually ratchet it up versus like date night for us? It takes Stacy out to dinner and And it's just nice to get away from the kids. I mean, we're at that stage where it's like just a nice dinner. 3 hours of conversation with no kids is fabulous when you've been, married as long as I have and have kids.
I was slammed last year because I did a video and I said my first date on anyone who I go out with, I will not spend no more than $50.
This was what I was wondering. I like this. You're kind of going, we're prospecting right now. I'm not going to invest a lot here.
Yeah, I'm not.
I like this.
I don't want to sit here and spend $150 on a woman that I may not even see or want to deal with the next week.
And you got slammed?
Oh, yeah.
As in what? You're cheap?
Oh, yeah, because ladies like $50. I mean, I can't even get a steak for $50. Well, first off, you're not going to get a steak with me on our first date. I've been able to.
This is fantastic.
My savings accounts looks good now because I've been a good steward of my money.
What does the lady get on a first date with you?
Oh, man, what she's going to get? She's going to get my heart. She's going to get intentionality. she's going to get creativity. So we're going to go to the park.
A chicken and a salad.
The kids menu.
No dessert.
I'm just saying, like, she's going to see, okay, he put thought behind this date. We're going to go to a museum. We're going to go walk in the park. I'm going to, maybe cook something from the house and bring it on a little picnic, and we sit down and, we watch the stars. And
I see.
She's going to see creativity. And then once
some Tupperware, apparently.
Absolutely. I have no shame in my game.
All right. This is good stuff here.
Yeah.
I think this is good. You're taking a stand, young men out there.
Yes.
You don't have to blow the budget on the first date is the takeaway. That's my takeaway. And this is a good point here. If you want to go deeper with AO on stuff like this, and he does, and it's fabulously entertaining. Oh, yeah. The Table with Anthony O'Neill now is available as a podcast. It's already wildly popular on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just search The Table with Anthony O'Neill, and then again, it's wherever you listen to podcasts. And, man, he's going into this and all kinds of stuff. And let me tell you about my man. He brings it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no filter.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. Go check that out. All right. Speaking of the single life and recently engaged, we're going to go to Loma Linda, California, where Jan joins us. Jan, how can we help?
Hi, how you doing? Hi, Ken, and hi, Anthony.
Hey, man, how are you?
Good to talk with you. What's up?
Yeah, good to talk with you, too. First, I just want to say thank you. You've been a big blessing in my life. I just got introduced to both of you and Dave Rants and the whole team about a month ago, and I've been listening to you all on YouTube, so it's been great.
Fantastic.
Second, I graduated from Loma Linda, actually, University, with a $180,000 loan as a physical therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately after that, I got a DUI, ended up not being able to practice physical therapy, and I ended up getting a job at Yosemite National Park as a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked there for about 5 years, ended up coming back to the profession under probation with the board in last year, May, so 2020. And so since then, I've been working like a maniac and paying off my debt with the compound interest that came up to $247. And I paid down so far about $83,000.
Good for you.
Working multiple jobs. Recently got engaged about 2 weeks ago. And
congrats. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm really good. I'm frugal and I'm good at saving. But I'm not good at budgeting. I mean, I do have a budget, a mental budget, but I'm not good at writing it.
Mm-hmm.
And what me and my fiance now are sitting down and listening to you guys. So, she's on board, but we don't have a concrete foundation, and I just wanted to get some advice.
Oh, AO can help you there. How does he budget better?
Yeah, man. I think for you have a bigger question than just budgeting. I think with you and your wife just now getting married, Jan, and I want to say congrats. I think love, true love, God-centered love trumps debt. So I want to root you on in that one and get married. Mm-hmm. Now I think what you and your wife have to do is sit down and really identify what's your vision, where are you going in life. Once you can get that clear vision and that clear why of why you all are going this route, man, I'm telling you right now it's going to help. Then number 2, you got to take debt off of the table. Both of you all need to stop borrowing money. And then number 3, you all need to together join our Financial Peace University via Ramsey Plus. So what I want to do, because you just got engaged a few weeks ago, I want you to stay on the line. Kelly is going to get your information. We're going to give you a free year of Ramsey Plus, Ken and I, because we want to sow a seed into your marriage. So your main responsibility right now is sit down, get the vision and get the why for you and your new wife. Number 2, take debt off of the table and immediately get inside of Ramsey Plus so you can create a solid foundation and learn how to budget, learn how to pay off a debt, learn how to start building wealth. This is The Ramsey Show.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your questions, as we do here on The Ramsey Show, to help you get where you want to go. How many of you are in a job that you don't know if you can bear doing it much longer? It's toxic. You've got a leadership issue above you. You just feel like you're topped out. You can't go any further. Some of you don't even know what it is you really would like to do. You want to make more money. You want to do something that you love, but you're not quite sure. I can take those questions for you. That's what we do on the Ken Coleman Show, which is a part of the Ramsey Network. You got your money questions. You got some of those relationship questions. You're single. You're trying to figure out some stuff there. AO handles all of those questions on the table with Anthony O'Neill, a part of the Ramsey Network as well. So we're going to talk about life in the form of money, your work, your career, what you're called to do, where you want to go, relationships, goals. I'm sitting next to a guy and he's all about excellence and maximizing potential. He and I are both passionate about that message. So, hey, we want to help you. Phone lines are open. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Danielle is joining us now in Louisville, Kentucky. Danielle, how can we help?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Oh, we're having a blast. What's going on with you?
Awesome. Hey, I actually spoke to you guys a few months back, but me and my husband are kind of at odds. We're finishing up baby step 3A and getting ready to go into baby step 3B. Mm-hmm. However, I had a question. Right now, we owe currently $93,000 about our current house. And we're wanting to save at least 10 to 20% down for another house with a little bit bigger yard that's a little bit nicer for our kids. The question I have is, by the time, in my head, by the time we save up that much money, we could have already had our house paid off, and we'd end up using that money to pay off our house. Would it be better to continue doing what we're doing, like paying the mortgage and doing all that stuff and saving for our house? Or would it be better to just work on paying our house off first and then saving up for another house?
How much is your house worth right now if you were to put it on the market?
$130,000, it said.
$130,000, and you owe $93,000 on it.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm guessing that he's at odds with that. That's how you started the program. The call as you entered the program. So why is he at odds with that? The idea of, hey, we could pay it off, and then we'd have, if we sold it for $130,000, we'd have all $130,000 to use versus the 20% you're going to try to put down. What's his problem with that?
I think his problem is he's like, if we pay it off, then we're basically using our money that we were supposed to be paying for a new house and paying our house off, and then we're going to have to start from scratch and redo everything. Like, it's going to take us at least 5 to 6 years to get the $70,000 or whatever, 20% down. But by the time we do that, that's basically all the money we could do for paying the house, and we'll be in this house a lot longer.
How much of a house are you trying to purchase?
4-bedroom, 2-bath.
How much is that?
It's going to be about $200,000.
Okay, $200,000
to get where we want to be, like with a nicer yard. And right now, we live in the middle of town and on a busy street, and it's not safe for my dog. It's not safe for my kids.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is you just identified some things that you don't like, and yet you're the one kind of going, I think we should just pay off the house.
Yeah. That's where we're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting confused. He's getting confused. And it's like, okay, what should we do?
Yeah. What's y'all's household income right now?
He makes about 70 to 80,000.
Okay, and are you a stay-at-home mom?
A year. I am a stay-at-home mom. I had work during the COVID era, and then I had to stop.
Okay, cool. So here's the thing that I really want you to understand. One of the key things we teach is 10 to 20% down. The reason why we teach 20% is so that you can avoid PMI, okay, private mortgage insurance. But we don't have a problem with you putting 10%. So 10% of 200,000 is right at 40,000. And with you all making $80,000 a year, if you sell your house, and I heard you say it, as in like the app or like Zillow told you that it was worth 130,000, I would pull in one of our endorsed local providers, a realtor that can come out, really appraise your house in this market and let you know, okay, this is exactly what you can get for your house. If Zillow is saying 130, I'm going to guess you're right around 145 in this market. You only need $40,000 to get to 10%. Okay, so honestly, if y'all have any more money in 3B, you may be around 15%. And what you all can do, two options. You can go ahead and move into the house with 10 to 15% to put down and then work towards getting that extra 5% into your extra years and refi and get out of the PMI. Or you can move into an apartment for a year, stack up some more money, and then put in get the 20% down. But the bare minimum here at Ramsey Solutions, we teach 10% bare minimum, 20% is the second ideal. Then the first ideal is, of course, is to pay cash. But the majority of us listening, including myself, are not going to pay cash for the house. So the second one is 20%, bare minimum 10. So I would definitely say, number one, reach out to a realtor. Go to DaveRamsey.com. Look at one of our endorsed local provider realtors. Ask them to come out, give you the proper appraisal of what you can do with the house. If they come back to where you can sell it for $145, $150, after fees and everything, you have, at least $40,000 put into the home, then I would say go ahead and look into it. I mean, because you guys are already debt free. Just make sure you do not touch your baby step 3, which is you have 3 to 6 months of your expenses for emergencies. But if you can use the equity to get into a bigger house for you and your family, that's okay.
Yeah. And, and again, I think it's good for you two to sit down just emotionally, and let's just talk about this. We understand the financial piece. Let's talk about the emotional piece.
Yeah.
Let's just look at this and go, what do we want this house for? What are all these reasons? And you've already listed them out. Better place for the kids, better bedroom situation and all that. And if you look at that and you go, again, the 10%, we can get the 10% down payment a lot faster than we can pay the 93 off, then you need to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because there's no wrong decision here because you guys are living this out. You're walking the baby steps. So this is less about right and wrong. This is about what do we want to do and get on the same page. I don't think you guys are that far apart, doesn't sound like to me. But I think I would list out those, pros and cons of the emotional why we want this, and then financially we can get there. 888-825-5225 is the phone number to jump in. 888-825-5225. I want you to weigh in on a question I got on Instagram. Bethany wrote in, I want to break out on my own and do my own thing before I turn 30, but I'm not sure yet what I want to do and not sure how to figure it out. Can you give me a little advice? I just don't know I just know that I don't want to work for someone else for the rest of my life. So I'm going to talk about that little sentence on the back end because I think that's what's driving a lot of frustration for this young lady. Okay, the first thing is she's had a bad experience working for somebody else.
Yes.
She also has probably always had a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. All right. So then let's go back up to the first sentence. I want to break out on my own and do my own thing before I turn 30. That's speaking to this. She's got this. She's got a vision, and so of course I teach. Look at your talent, what you do best. Those are the premium tools. You don't want to show up and do some construction work with bad tools, AO.
Right.
So we look at what you're most talented at. Then we look at the kind of work that you've always thought about, the kind of work you love to do. That's what we call passion. And then what are the results that you want to create in the world? And a young lady like this, she's already dreamed a little bit, AO.
Yeah.
She's thought about what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you've seen young kids with the stars in their eyes.
Yeah.
And they got to be careful not to try to do it too soon.
I'm so glad you said that, Ken. You're the career expert in this space, man. And I think oftentimes, you see these young kids, they're looking at the big names out there like, oh, man, I need to have my own business. Oh, man, I need to be out on my own. Oh, man, I need to work for myself. Well, yeah, great. I think that's a great goal. But anyone I would never want to work for someone or work with someone who never had to work for someone. Because if you don't know how to lead, if you don't know how to be led, if you don't know how to submit to someone else's vision and learn up underneath someone else, then you will not know how to lead. You will not know how to treat your people, your team members, your staff members. And so for me, I say young people, get it, learn as much as you possibly can, then follow Ken's advice and go start your own business one day.
Good stuff. He is Anthony O'Neill. I'm Ken Coleman, and I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer, Kelly Daniel, but most of all, you, America, thank you for listening. This is The Ramsey Show.
It's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your relationships, winning, being who you were created to be. I'm Ken Coleman, host of The Ken Coleman Show on the Ramsey Network, and I'm joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, host of The Table with Anthony O'Neill on the Ramsey Network, and we are your hosts this hour. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. AO, always good to be with you. Tell these people why doing work you love allows them to make more money, in your opinion. I talk about this all the time. I want to know what you think about it.
Well, I'm not as polished and expertise in this area as you are, man.
You're an expert in it. You've done it.
Hey, man. I think for me, when you are doing the work that you're passionate about, you put more energy behind it. You put more effort into it. And when you put more energy and effort into it, if you're in a career space out of corporate America, your bosses will see you and elevate you and give you more opportunities. So I think for me, when you love what you do, it's evidence in your work.
The money follows.
Yes.
And the right amount of money. It doesn't always have to be more money than anybody else. And that's why the baby steps coincide with the 7 stages to meaningful work. So we're going to take some work questions. If you're not happy, Ayo and I can weigh in on this. He's been in leadership at a large mega church. He understands the dynamics. We'll also talk about your money. We'll talk relationships. My man's single over here. So when we talk about being single and money, he can bring it. So we'll take your questions about life, money, whatever angle you want to come at it. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Columbus, Ohio, where Adrianna is on the line. Adrianna, how can we help?
Hi. I was calling because I purchased a new vehicle about 2 years ago now for a total of, I believe, $13,000 or $14,000, one of those. I still owe $11,000 on the vehicle, but my car note is extremely high. It's like $360 a month. So I have tried refinancing through a couple of companies, and I just get generic denials, even though my credit has improved over 200 points since I originally got the loan for the car. So I have gotten some suggestions that maybe I should consider selling and getting a cheaper vehicle, paying off the rest or whatever. But right now I feel kind of like my hands are tied. I've still got 2 years to go on the loan, and I would like to be rid of it ASAP.
How much money are you making, Adrianna? What's your yearly income?
36.
36,000. Okay, cool. What do you do for a living?
Construction, and call center manager.
Okay. It's call center manager. Okay, cool beans. And any other debt outside of this car? Like student loans, credit cards?
Nope.
Okay, so the only debt that you have is this $11,000 on a car, which is about $360 a month.
Yes.
What's the Blue Book value on it? Have you looked it up?
I'm believing 9, maybe.
And you owe 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any money in the savings right now?
Maybe like nothing extreme, like $2K.
Okay, $2K. How old are you, Adrianna?
24.
24. You're a young lady. Okay, cool beans. I like this. I like you calling and asking the question. Let me ask you this question too. Why do you want to refi it? You want a lower payment?
Yes, basically to free up some extra money because I am also a single mother.
Okay.
And yeah, I would like to have more money in the month.
How many kids do you have?
Just one.
Cool, great. Here's the thing. When it comes to refinancing, Adrianna, I don't teach refinancing. We don't teach refinancing to get a lower payment so you can stay in debt longer. We teach refi so you can get a lower interest rate so you're not paying as much penalties, but your payment still is going to be as high as it possibly can so you can get out of debt quicker. So the solution to your problem is not refinancing. It's getting out of the car. If you're saying that you're living uncomfortably right now, that, just paying $360 a month right now, which $36,000 a year means you're bringing home about maybe $28,000 to $29,000 a year. I can understand that. And so right now, if you have $2,000 in your savings, right now, you really need to talk to Ken because we got to get your income up for one. We got to get that shovel bigger because even if you sold the car today, how do we pay cash? How much money and how much time would it take for you to save up cash to go buy a cash vehicle to free up to $360 a month? And so my suggestion to you is not trying to refi to get down to a $150 payment because you're just going to be in debt a lot longer and you're going to pay so much more for this car than what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
So your number one thing is get out of the car, get your shovel bigger, and go buy a cash car.
Yeah, and I think we can get you out of this pretty quick.
Yeah.
AO is exactly right. So let's just walk through some possibilities. Okay, let's try to create a plan based on your reality. Could you work a second job without, creating too much more expense on childcare? Could you do that if it is additional 15 hours a week or something like that? What's realistic for you?
I could potentially. I wouldn't necessarily say a second job, but I'm sure I can put some pressure to my commissions.
Okay, so that's my point. So how much, and you don't have to answer this on the air, but I think the question you've got to answer before Monday, give you a couple of days, you're kind of walking through this and you kind of go, before the next week starts, how much more money do I feel comfortable that I can create in my budget? Okay. And so what happens is, let's just run some round numbers. All right. Let's say that you could make an additional $500 a month. All right. And I'm talking net. So after taxes, let's say you could put an additional $500 a month towards that car. You've got $2,000 in savings right now. So if you walk the baby steps out, okay, baby step one is $1,000. You've got $2,000. So you could put $1,000 on the car today. So that takes it now to I owe $10,000. Let's say that you could put $500 a month. And so let's say for 4 months, okay, you're just looking at the numbers, 4 or 5 months, and you're knocking that down several $1,000s more. All right, so you go from $10,000 to in a couple 4 months, and I could do it down to $8,000. And then if I say, I'm making some ground here, and if I keep hustling a little bit longer, I get this down to $4,000. Let's say it's worth $9,000. You said it was worth $9,000. You sell it. Okay, you got $5,000 cash to go buy a decent car that will take care of you and your child. And guess what just happened? The $360 payment that you wanted to refinance goes to zero. I think that's what we want to see you do. Hustle. See if you can get some help with the child care that doesn't cost you any money, because you're casting a vision, AO.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, I'm going to bust it for 6, 7, 8 months, trying to make as much money as I can to where I can sell that car and still buy something. Now you're free.
Absolutely.
Truly debt-free.
I love it.
Watch you pile the money up. You got this. I love single mothers, AO. They're the strongest people on the planet. You can do this.
Yes.
This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
The Ramsey Show continues. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we are taking your questions. 888-825-5225. You want to talk money? You want to talk your work and moving up in your career or making a switch? We are here for you. 888-825-5225 is the number. Chelsea is up next in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Chelsea, how can we help?
Hey, so my 16-year-old is starting her first job this week, and the two of us have been trying to go over her budget, and so we are wondering if you could give us some tips on, like, what percentages to go where. Her and I are kind of butting heads about it because I'm the nerd, and I'm like, match your 401k, do your retirement, and she's like, I'm 16. What are you talking about?
Well, I kind of see both sides of this, Ayo.
Yeah, I really do. I really do. What would you do, man? You are a father.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. So in this situation, she's 16, yeah. and so I want her to get the basics, but she doesn't have many expenses. I don't know what you're requiring for her to pay. So let me walk you through, because I know this. I'm going to make my kid pay for his gas. Right. I'll cover insurance. Right. But he's going to pay for gas. What are you making her pay? What expenses does she have that are hers?
Well, so up until this point, we have not made her pay insurance or car or gas because she's had a $10 a week allowance until this point. And now she's making $13 an hour, working about 15 hours a week. So
how many hours a week?
I think that about 15.
Okay, gotcha. And so you want her putting money into a 401k account?
Well, I mean, my goal, if I had my way, would be 10% to giving the match, whatever the company match is, 6% for a 401k, and then the rest of it the rest of her savings, and would just go into a savings account for if she wants to buy a car.
Sure, I get it. And what is she pushing back on?
She is pushing back on the total percentage of savings.
What does she want? What does she want to save?
She wants to save maybe 20%.
And you want her to save how much?
Savings. What I would love would just be to see 40, and that's what we do with her allowance right now. 10% goes to tithing, 40 goes to savings.
I get it, and she's on board with on board with the tithing, correct?
Yes, she is.
Okay, great. So, Ayo, you can speak to the budgeting and the formulas, but as a father, I'm not going to let this be a big battle. I'm not going to die on the hill versus of 20%. She's willing to save 20%. You want her to save 40. I'm going to go, I think you should save more, and here's why. But this is your money. It's your job. If you think 20 is the right number, okay. And chill out, Mom. You're practically driving a stake in the ground for her on 20%. I just don't think I'd fight that. Ayo?
No, I really wouldn't either. And I definitely want to say, Chelsea, your heart is it's so amazing that you want to teach your daughter how to win financially. There's three things that I teach when it comes to young people: how to give, how to save, and how to spend. Give, save, spend. Give your 10% to your local church, or give to to the needy. Teach our young people how to have a generous heart. So you're already doing that with their local church. Then after that, it's save. I agree with the saving part as far as in 401ks, and I see that. But what I didn't hear, and correct me, and make sure you tell me this here, I didn't hear anything about saving for college, saving for her first car, saving for prom, saving for, things that she's going to be experiencing. I heard save 401k. They're going to do a match. Save for this, save for that. That's cool. That's great. But let's make sure that we're also teaching her to save for the things that she's going to have to experience. And saving for college is more important than saving in a 401k. Saving to contribute towards her first car, even if you all have the means to pay for her first car, is more important than contributing to a Roth IRA.
That's correct.
And so I would definitely teach that part. Have that conversation, let her get into some part of ownership of her life, and then spend. Let her enjoy her money, because she's working hard for it. Let her go out there and get her hair done, get her nails done, and buy something cute. So when she go to school, her girl's like, girl, I like that new hair. You got to figure it out. Give, save, spend. So those are the three things. There's really not a percentage that we teach. We just want to teach the overall method. Yeah. Then as she gets older, then of course we'll dive deeper into it. But right now at 16, those are the three things you should be teaching her.
And I just say one last thing, Mom, and this is coming from, I'm figuring this out right now with a 15 and 13 and 12. Learn how to coach a little bit. And the way you coach is you let them go out and try that sport, right?
Yeah.
And then you give them some notes and you say, let's go out and play, and then let's teach you how to do the fundamentals. So, let her come up with a plan as she begins to make the money and then spend the money and save the money. Then you kind of coach a little bit after you've watched it. You don't expect a kid when they try a new sport or learn a new instrument to just get it right away. What do? You let them practice. You let them play it. And it is the act of practicing and playing and performing by which they really learn how to do it. And I would just take a chill out approach and let them feel that responsibility and the sting, by the way, of making a bad purchase. Because right now is the time. If I want my kid making a dumb purchase, it's when they're 16.
Yes.
And they're not homeless. And if they run out of money, I go, great, you're not going anywhere this weekend because you can't put gas in your car. But it's not a crisis. And I think it's hard I'm struggling with this. I just need to admit on the air, I'm a control freak as a parent. I'm learning how not to be. But it's because of our fears.
Ken Combs a control freak?
Yeah, no, well, I know that's no surprise to you. But, but it's like, hey, I got to let them learn, AO.
You do, man.
And see, you've come at it from a youth pastor. Like, you've been partnering with parents and going, oh, we don't want them to make any mistakes at all because we don't want them to suffer any pain. And yet it is that pain, albeit very small for a 16-year-old financially, that actually teaches the best lesson.
And you're absolutely right, Ken. I am not a parent, so I'm not a parent personality, but I spent 10 years of my life being a big brother to thousands and thousands of young people. And one of the biggest things that I saw wrong within homes, again, not as a parent, but as a youth pastor, was parents forced their kids to do something. And then I think the problem is when you force them to live this lifestyle, the moment they become free, they want to leave that lifestyle. Rachel says it best, more is caught than taught. And I believe more is caught than forced. And so it's like, hey, just give your kids that option. Give your kids the opportunity to say yes and to say no. And when they say no, just be like, okay, cool, great. You're going to fall in my house. I'm going to let you fall and feel a little bit of that pain. And while I'm helping you get back up, I'm going to educate you on why you fell and why you feel the pain. And then when they feel that pain up underneath loving, up underneath wisdom, up underneath care, more than likely they're not going to want to feel that pain again. True story. So I know we're about to go to break here, but I remember, man, I was like 3-4 years old. And my parents used to always tell me, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove. Well, one day I went to touch the stove. My dad saw me going to touch the stove. So he let me walk towards the stove, went inside of the refrigerator, took out the butter, followed me to the stove. And as soon as I went up there to touch the stove, my dad already had some butter in his hand. And before I can even really scream, as soon as I touched it, he grabbed my hand, rubbed the butter on my hand. And I'm looking at my dad, that hurt. And he said, do you see why I told you to not touch the stove? While I am in pain, while my dad is educating me, and while he's making sure that I am okay, to this day, as a grown man, I do not want to touch the stove.
I'm sure.
Because it's like I know what it feels like. But I know what it feels like because my father allowed me to feel the pain up underneath his care, wisdom, and judgment. And I think that's what parents need to do. Be willing to allow your kids to feel a little bit while you're there to educate them. Because if they feel it in the world with no education, they'll keep doing it.
Folks, that right there, that'll teach and that'll preach, and it works. Good stuff, AO. I feel like I didn't call your dad during the commercial break. Tell him how awesome that is. Seriously, as a dad, I'm going, man, that's beautiful. That's so, so good. Love it. Tell you what else I love. More of your calls, and they're coming up. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by my colleague, Anthony O'Neill. And our colleague, Dr. John Deloney, is in the control room. He has found his way to the control room, and he came to talk to Anthony O'Neill about the topic we were talking about in a previous hour about how much money you should spend on the first date. And this said
$50.
$50.
And this is the reason why John Deloney is not a money personality, because he said I should spend $1,000.
He did not say that. You two will be on air together soon, and James, we will let them continue that ongoing debate in a future Ramsey show. All right. Hey, when it comes to making big money or life moves like buying a home, getting married, or having a baby, it's likely the last thing that is on your mind is making sure you have the right insurance coverage. I get it. And those big changes are overwhelming. But what would be even more overwhelming is to find yourself in a situation where you and your family were in a hole because you weren't covered properly. It's not having the time or energy that is keeping you from getting the right coverage. Use one of our endorsed local provider or ELP insurance agents to help. ELPs are independent agents who find you the best coverage at the best price, free of charge. An independent agent shops a variety of insurance options, finds you the best coverage, and explains all of the technical lingo so that you know exactly what you're getting for free. Now, all you have to do is text insurance, just the word insurance, text that to 33789 to get connected with an ELP and get the coverage that fits you. That's insurance. Text that to 33789. All right. 888-825-5225. That's the number. Let's go to Kayla, who joins us in Louisville, Kentucky. Kayla, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
So my husband and I, we have been married for almost a year, and we bought our home, and we needed to renovate it. And so we loaned $50,000 from my husband's father to kind of finance those renovations.
Hey, Kayla, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. If you could try to get that phone and hold it right on your mouth, you're coming in and out, and it's making it hard for us to hear your question. Could you start over and try that?
Yes. I'm sorry. Is this better?
A little bit. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. So my husband and I, we bought a home about a year ago.
Uh-huh.
And we financed our renovations through his father. And we borrowed about $50,000 from him. And I have in some mutual funds about $54,000. Should we cash out those mutual funds to pay his dad off, or should we just continue to make payments to his dad and just let that money kind of sit in the mutual fund?
Oh, man. Man, borrowing money from family is to me, that's worse than borrowing money from the bank.
Are you feeling pressure from him to get it sooner? Is that why you're considering using your mutual fund? Which, by the way, the answer is unequivocally no. You're not going to touch your mutual fund. You're not going to pay him back that way. Let's get that out of the way. I'm just curious why you're even thinking about that.
We are kind of trying to do the debt snowball, and our mortgage is the last thing that we owe money on. And so we weren't really sure if his loan to his dad qualified as part of our mortgage. So we were just trying to like get that paid off so we could say, okay, we're done with that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. What other kind of debt do you have right now?
We just have our mortgage, and we owe him about $40,000 now. We're making about $2,000 a month payments to him.
What's your household
income? So that's
income?
all we have. We make about $100,000.
That's combined?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great. And then you only owe him about $40,000 from what you're saying, correct?
Right.
Cool. How much money do you have in your savings right now?
We have about $10,000, $10,000 or $12,000.
Okay, 10 or 12. Okay, cool, great. So one thing that Ken said earlier, which there's different kinds of mutual funds. You have mutual funds that are covered in retirements, like via like a Roth IRA or traditional IRA that is covered and invested into a growth stock mutual fund. And then you have mutual funds that are not covered with retirement. So to be clear, are these mutual funds covered from in retirement, or are they just regular mutual funds standing on their own?
These are just regular mutual funds. It was actually funds that my parents had like saved for me growing up.
Okay, so they're not they're not your 401k retirement stuff and Roth. Okay.
No, we have separate like Roth IRAs for that.
Okay. All right. Well, correct me on that one then.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Yep.
We're team players here. That's why we're both here.
I assumed those are retirement accounts. So let me clear that up.
Yeah.
So we would not want you to touch your retirement because you're going to take a tax hit on that.
Exactly.
But if these are separate from retirement, which you've cleared up, then yes.
Yeah.
You can do that.
For an example, because I actually put money into a mutual fund now to build up my dream home, and so whenever I get into that season, I will pull from that, and that's okay. And so for yourself here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to say you have two options here. You could take the $12K and put that towards your dad's stuff right now, or you can go ahead and cash out the mutual fund and pay off your debt entirely and keep the $10,000 inside of that. If I'm you, I'm going to cash out my mutual fund and go ahead and pay off my debt entirely and keep the emergency fund there of the $10,000 to $12,000 a month right there. Not a month, but the $10,000 to $12,000 in my savings account. So that way you can get out of debt. You all are 100% debt free, and all the money that you have now is going towards building your wealth. You're investing it into your 401ks and into your Roth IRAs and even into your kids' college future down the road. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't play with it. I would go ahead and just pay off my dad, pay off my father-in-law, and keep on moving.
Yeah, good stuff there. You cringed when she started the call and said, we borrowed money from my father-in-law. There's a deeper issue there.
Yeah, I mean, borrowing money, period, is a no-go, and we've all made that mistake. But with family members, man, I've had to tell family members in my own family, no, I can't loan you that money because if I can't afford to give it to you, I just can't afford to give it to you at all, loan it to you at all, because I've seen even within my own family, money it just doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So friends, family members, if I cannot give it to you, I won't do it. And honestly, man, growing up in my young 20s before I started this philosophy, man, I don't have current relationships right now,
right?
Because how I did them,
right,
without giving them back their money on time. So,
and that's why you're going. Let's go ahead and cash out the non-retirement mutual funds because we're gonna get that relationship. We're gonna take care of that, not let that fester.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like you never know. She didn't really directly answer. You don't know if that's getting sour. She kind of said, "Hey, we want to knock it out," which I get. But bottom line is that it is something that they can actually do and save that potential tension.
Yes.
And that's good.
Yeah. My mic went out there for a minute.
You're good, man. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, and I think that's important too because it's like we all have these opportunities to maybe make some progress if we get money from family. Because it feels right.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, okay, now I can make some progress here.
Yeah.
I can jump ahead, and all I got to do is, I'm not getting it from a bank, right? And so it feels right, but that's a trap.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels good. It's better. I get it from my mom, my dad, from my brother, my sister. Oh, they'll forgive me if I don't pay. No, man, no, listen. No, that's not the case. And so for me, just borrowing money, period, man, don't do it from family and don't loan family money. And in her situation, anyone listening right now, if you have the means of paying it off for the love of your family, for the sake of your family, pay it off.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Cleans it all up.
Yes.
Everybody feels better.
Yes.
Everybody's excited.
Yeah.
Got the stuff done, and they're in a great shape. And again, we want to point out that we do believe in the process of the baby steps.
Yeah.
And so they want to knock it off, but they had $10,000 in the bank.
Right.
And technically, folks, we want you to just do $1,000 in that emergency fund, put the rest of that towards the debt. But they're in a situation where they can take a big chunk out of this and knock it out completely. So that's a good thing. All right. Good stuff. Good advice, Anthony O'Neill. All right. Don't move. More Ramsey Show coming right up. This is the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we are taking your questions. We'll take your questions about your life. That means your money. That means your profession, the kind of income you want, the impact you desire to make. We're going to take it on for you. 888-825-5225. Open phone lines. It is a free call. Let's go to Jacksonville, Florida, where Kim joins us. Kim, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I've read both of your books.
Thank you.
I learned a lot. And yes, and I just most recently read your book, Ken, The Proximity Principle.
Okay.
And there was a lot of good information, but my thing is, like, I work because I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids, and I don't love my job. Like, I don't feel like there's really any purpose.
Yeah.
Like, like I'm not contributing anything really,
Yeah.
For the good. It's basically survival, and I feel like I've been in survival mode for so long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what I would like to do. Like, when I read all of your great tips, about, okay, find what you want, do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't even know where my passion even lies because, like I said, it's survival mode.
Yeah.
But, I want to get there. Like, I want to.
We're
going
to get you there.
Fulfilling. And of course, my kids, they're number one.
Of course.
And, they're turning out great. So,
you're doing such a good job, Mom. Hey, Mom, listen. You're doing such a good job. And I can hear the emotion in your voice. And I want to address something real quick. Okay. Just because you don't see any worth in your work doesn't mean that you aren't making a difference. All right?
Right.
But I understand. That's why I do the show that I do for Ramsey Solutions.
Right.
Because once you get to a point where you don't have any juice, any passion for the job, there's no connection to the work, it becomes a very slippery slope to where you feel like, well, my work doesn't matter to me. And then all of a sudden you start to feel like I don't matter. And that's where you are right now. But let me tell you who you matter to beyond me and Anthony O'Neill right now. Those 3 kids think you're the sun, the moon, and the stars. Don't you ever forget that. You hear me?
Right.
All right. So real quick, I want to get into this, but when you say survival mode, are you talking financial survival? You're just barely making ends meet?
Yeah, it's been a struggle. And I read Dave Ramsey's book for the first time. I don't know why. I've heard of him for years, but I actually got it for my kids in the fall. Uh-huh. And, but I ended up reading it. And so it's given me a lot of hope, even though I'm like, when I read it, I'm like, we're the single moms in this book. Like, it's a different situation, but it has given me a plan and I do feel hopeful, but yes, it's been a huge financial struggle.
So what do you do now and how much do you make? What do you do now and how much do you make?
Last year it was 37, and it's in accounting for like a distribution company. So it's not my passion, it's not my degree, but it's a great work environment and positive people. But
good. All right.
not
So
my passion.
So,
and
so, do you have a lot of debt?
No, I'm actually. I paid off my last credit card a couple months ago.
Hey,
so no
way
debt.
to go,
Yeah.
Kim! Now listen.
Yeah.
Listen. How old are the
Yeah.
kids? We're gonna get to this. I want to figure out what you want to do because I think you're afraid to say it, but we'll get to that in a second. All right. But how old are the kids?
Okay, the oldest just turned 18, and Anthony, she'll be going to college debt-free. She got a full-paid scholarship. So.
How about that debt-free degree right there?
Yeah.
All right, so they're not littles.
Huge.
They're not, and so what are the other ages? The other two?
15, well, almost 16 and 13.
Okay, good. That's good news. That's going to help me with some advice here in a second. All right.
Okay.
So what was your degree in?
Journalism.
Interesting. Okay, so when somebody tells me on the Ken Coleman Show or here on the Ramsey Show that they have no idea what work they're passionate about, I know that that's ultimately not true, but they're having a hard time saying it, getting it out of their head.
Right.
So I want to test you on something, okay? But I want you to promise me that right now you're going to turn your brain off. You're not going to think about how you get there in the form of getting qualified, how much that would cost, how long it would take. I want you to suspend all of that disbelief. And let's assume you're in some fantasy movie that you went to and you're just enjoying the movie even though you know it's not realistic. Does that sound good?
Right.
All right, here we go. I want you to answer with your heart. If you knew you could not fail, you did not have to get qualified. You didn't have to worry about the money. The money was what you needed and then some. And you didn't have to get qualified. I just start you on a Monday morning soon. And you knew you couldn't fail. But you also didn't have to commit to it for the rest of your work life either. What would you try?
Okay, I've heard you ask this question. I've tried to answer it. It's not one specific job. I guess what my passions
fine.
are,
Just
and
talk.
I'd like to make money
Just talk.
at it.
Just
Okay.
talk. Don't.
Okay.
You're already making excuses. What is it?
Okay. Travel, helping others, and culture. Like, those are my passions. I don't know how to make money
Okay, hold
combining
on.
those.
Hold on. That's my job. Hold on. All right. So when you
Okay.
say helping others in culture, describe those people you want to help and the problem or the challenge that they have. Because I think you know that. So describe the people and the problem.
Okay, mostly women and children, like refugees, mission type work, which I used to do in college.
All right, now stop. How would you help them? How would you help them? Now I know the people. How would you help them? What's the solution you'd want to help them with? What is it?
Well, that's the thing. Like, my first thing that comes to mind is like offer comfort, like be someone to listen to them, because I think, okay, I don't have medical skills or construction skills, like the typical things you think of when you go to do these things.
Hold on a second,
just,
Kim. Kim, let me ask you a question. Are you really good at connecting with people?
I think so, yes.
Do you love listening to people?
I do, yes.
Do you love giving people advice and encouragement?
Yes, I do.
Interesting. How did I know that,
Yeah.
Kim? We've never talked before. So, Kim, here's the deal. You've been overthinking this. The fact of the matter is, a person who goes into journalism has got verbal skills. You just do. You're gifted at communication. You're gifted at connecting with others. You're a single mom. You've been through so much. And there's a reason why refugees and women, there's a reason from your past. Am I right or wrong?
I think it's more of, my not so distant past, when going through a divorce and it's humiliating, it was very public, you lose your reputation, your privacy, all those things, like it changes who you are. And I feel like that's what has changed me and made me more empathetic, more understanding, less judgmental.
That's it. So there it is. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not your why. And Kim, your why is all over you. You're just having a hard time articulating. I think the real issue is you're dealing with doubt. You're going, I don't know if there's anything I can do to help those women. That's garbage, and you know it. You can help those women. And if it's a mission field, then get after it. So here's the deal. Your homework assignment is to look for all the ways, just real jobs, whether it be on the mission field or working at a government, local, or state agency that's helping women that are battered or are single moms, and they're behind the eight ball, and they're on welfare and government benefits or whatever, and they feel like they can't ever get out of this hole. Ministries. that are helping those women. Your job is to just do the research and say, who's helping those women that I want to help? And then go, what am I qualified to do? And if there's something that you want to do you're not qualified for, you figure out how to do that. And you ask these questions. What do I need to learn? What basic certification do I need? I got news for you. You probably won't need much. You already got a 4-year degree. And how much is that going to, how long is it going to take for me to get that qualification they want? And then how much is it going to cost me? And then based on that, how long will it take? Those 4 simple questions will come up with a plan. You have raised 3 kids largely on your own. There's no stopping you, Kim. Nobody can stop you. And your heart is full right now because you know who you want to help. Now all you got to do is find out how you can help them. And I'm telling you right now, you can make the money that you want to make, 37 and more. Go figure out how to help those women now and go do it. That is what you're supposed to do. Kim, I'm so proud of you. Don't you dare quit. Your heart's on fire. Let it stay on fire. Hey, I want to thank my colleague, Anthony O'Neill. I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer, Kelly Daniel, and you, America. This has been The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your work, relationships, and more. I'm Ken Coleman, and I'm joined by my colleague, Anthony O'Neill. We are Ramsey personalities. We each host a show on the Ramsey Network. Anthony's show is wildly popular on YouTube and in podcast form. It is The Table with Anthony O'Neill, and mine is named The Ken Coleman Show. We really spent a lot of time on that one. A lot of creative force going into naming it The Ken Coleman Show. But you can find both on the Ramsey Network, both on YouTube, both in podcast form. And we are teaming up together to help you. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. So you got a question? You want to move up, make some more money? We can talk about that, and we can also get you out of a tough work situation. You got some leadership issues. You want to be a leader. You got some relationship questions, single, trying to figure out how to spend that money, how to do it right. That's the kind of stuff that we are wide open for. All right, let's get to the phones. Little Rock, Arkansas is where we go first. Taylor is there. Taylor, how can we help?
Oh, hi. I am so excited to talk to you both. And so this is my question. First of all, I am in baby step 2. I am a single mom. I'm currently working 2 jobs, and I am planning to move this summer to actually take a job to the Dallas-Fort Worth area where I will get a pay increase. And I will also be able to work my side job as well. But my question is this. During the first couple months, it will not be paid. I will not be paid. And so, of course, I'm saving up for that and everything. But I kind of have a relationship question, too, because I am currently single, but I've been dating someone for a while. And so we had been talking about marriage by the end of this year. And he had actually told me that he was planning on proposing soon. And so I will be moving closer to him. He lives in that he actually lives in that area as well. And so my question is it unfair or is it unrealistic that I would expect him to help with my move?
How close are you? How long have you been dating? How deep and close is this relationship?
Okay. Now, we've not been dating for a really long time. It's been under a year that we've been dating. But, of course, we both are divorced, and so we've both been kind of divorced for a while, and so we both know really what we were looking for.
How much money? How much money do you need to move to Dallas? What are your moving expenses?
I calculate my moving expenses probably would be about $5,000, and that's including my rent and everything for that first couple months.
Yeah, Ayo and I looked at each other. I would not expect him to pay that. No. Are you expecting him to pay that, or are you just asking if you think he should expect? What?
No, I'm not expecting him to pay that.
Well, then
I'm working 2 jobs.
Why'd you ask then?
Well, I wasn't expecting him to pay all of that, but however, he was telling me.
But you're expecting another man that you've only been dating for less than a year to expect to pay some of it?
Well, he was telling me where to move. He's trying to tell me where to move because he's wanting us to get engaged. He said marriage by the end of the year is what he had told me.
I mean, well, brothers, we could talk a good game. You know that, Taylor. we could talk a good game. And so, listen, man, let me just tell you this much. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let King come in because he's married. I can't give marriage advice. I don't want to give marriage advice. But
right.
As a single person, I would advise you to do what is best for you, not based upon what he is saying. If he hasn't put a ring on your finger before you moved, he has no say-so in what you do, how you do it, and where you go. Now, if you ask him for advice, you have every right to listen to his advice, but move with the intent of you're going to be there on your own, whether you get married or not in the next year or two. And so for me, I would challenge you to be like, all right, am I moving because this is what I want to do without him in my life in the next 2 years? If your answer is yes, you move. And if he offers you money, I'm going to say this, don't even accept it, because what I don't want you to do is to feel pressured that if something goes wrong down the road that you owe him this money, or it creates a little salty flavor between y'all two. I say move solely on your own in an area that you can afford.
Okay, so Ayo is absolutely 100% right, Taylor. So the question is, are you moving because of him, or are you moving because of your career and the big vision you have?
And Taylor, tell the truth. We won't tell him.
Okay. I'm absolutely moving because of I'm moving for myself. I'm moving for better opportunities. I'm moving for a better job. Yes. And so he knows this.
Okay, now,
yes.
All right, so we're done with that issue. You're not going to ask him or expect him, and you're not going to take it if he offers. So let's move on. I want to know, you said you got a side hustle.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's going to Dallas with you. Is that the ultimate goal, to get that to a point where it replaces your current income, or is that something you just want to keep as a side hustle?
No, that's actually something I just want to keep as a side
All right. Next question.
Because it's not my own business.
Perfect. Okay, good. Now, my next question is, this job you're taking where you're not making any money for a couple months, could you explain that to me real quick?
Yeah, what kind of job is this?
Okay. Well, I cannot say the school district.
That's fine.
Basically, it's a alternative teacher certification program.
Why aren't you getting paid for a couple of months?
Well, the program has different phases, and so the phase where I say for a couple months, but the phase where I would actually be paid would be when I'm actually in the classroom. And so it could be a month.
Okay. I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes.
All right. Just wanted to make sure that I understood that. And so that's going to be a nice bump for you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any debt?
Yes.
All right. Are you walking the baby steps out?
I am walking the baby steps out.
There we go. Because I know you told me you're in baby step 2, so you got to walk it out. This increase in pay, regardless of this dude, right?
Yeah.
You're going to keep walking it out, as Anthony said. He's absolutely right. This is a move for you and a move by you. And then once the move has been executed and you're there, and as Anthony said, he puts a ring on it, he steps up, and you guys get married, then we combine everything. We keep everything separate until then. AO, final word on this?
Nah, man.
You did great.
And
that was beautiful.
And if the guy's hearing us, we're not knocking you. We're just trying to protect both of you.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Taylor, congrats, by the way, on the new job and moving forward in your life. Love, love, love that story. All right, don't move. More of your calls coming up real soon. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your questions this hour. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. And big news, our famous $10 sale is happening. Now you can learn how to make faster and real progress with your money when you check out our famous $10 sale. Save up to 60% on over 40 best-selling books and budgeting tools, like my colleague Anthony O'Neill's #1 bestseller, Debt-Free Degree. Oh, and my #1 bestseller, The Proximity Principle. Plus, all of these books make for great gifts for somebody who needs that nudge. Maybe just giving them a book and a recommendation makes a trajectory change in their life. You can shop our $10 sale at our online store at RamseySolutions.com. And that's not all. We've got a gift for you, too. You can also enter to win our Ramsey Cash giveaway. We're giving away $500 in cash every week and a grand prize of $5,000 cash. Enter daily for extra chances to win. No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older to win the cash. Text cash to 33789 to enter our giveaway now. Text cash to 33789. All right, to the phones we go. Austin, Texas is where Emily joins us. Emily, how can we help?
Hey, so I kind of have a financial/dating question. My question is how to identify financial red flags when dating someone, especially early on. Hindsight, of course, is 2020, and I recently, found myself dating someone who had their card declined a couple times on, really small brunches, and was pulling out a lot of money from his 401k to buy a house that was going to have an unreasonable mortgage and things like that. And I kind of, glazed over it and kind of like, he'll figure it out or whatever. But in my head, I knew there were poor decisions and something not lining up right. So I feel like I kind of spend a lot more time dating someone than I should. When I am told these things and find out this information, I should kind of be like, okay, this isn't for me because this is actively happening and you think it's a good idea. And I don't, and these are really big decisions being made. So how do I identify and acknowledge financial red flags?
Anthony and I are looking at each other going, who's going to go first on this? I think you've identified those red flags, don't you? I mean, they're just the ones you gave us. Are you saying that you didn't identify them initially and now you're aware of them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so in the moment, I'm like, I think I kind of glazed over them, or maybe watered them down in my head just because I'm personally, on a debt payoff journey. I'm on baby step 2.
No. Let me tell you what's going on. So that's what I thought. So you knew those were red flags then, and you chose not to do anything about them. And that's a relationship thing. That's a thing inside of you. That's an emotional thing inside of you. I'm not ready to tell you what that is, but I think that you could probably tell us if you're honest with yourself. There's something emotionally happening to you when you see this and you go, this is not good. This is completely opposite of what I think about money, and I'm not going to say anything about it just because I don't want to be lonely or I don't want to be rejected. I don't know. What is it? That's what I want to know. What do you think it is?
I think I kind of am an over-giver, and I easily feel bad for people, so I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I can just help guide the way or, give advice along the way. I don't know. I start to think of how I can maybe overcompensate.
Did you do that in that past relationship? I'm guessing this is in the past, correct?
Oh, yes.
Did you give it? Did you teach? Did you give advice? And then how did he react?
And I actually would bring up like Dave Ramsey and, those steps and things and how I'm following them. And I kind of got the shrug of the shoulders and the kind of like, maybe, I don't know about that. And I even got maybe one time, I don't think you should listen to that guy.
So there's your sign.
So it's definitely in the moment thing. I don't know. I'm too nice. Yeah, there is something. It could be a lonely factor that you're talking about there, but
I want AO to jump in because he's single and this is a guy who's very public about his financial stances, and so he runs into this way more. I've been married almost 23 years, so I look, I'm going to speak to you almost like maybe the uncle for a moment. I think you're really clear on what the red flags are and you identified them. And I actually don't mind you. You're dating a young man and he's doing things like that. And you go, that's kind of not what I believe at all. And then you going, hey, listen, I noticed this, and this. Don't want to embarrass you. This is what I believe about money. What are your thoughts on money? I mean, I think it's just as much of a relevant topic as what do you think about kids and what do you think about religion and faith. These are all things that eventually you got to talk about anyway. So I don't think you harp on it, but I think if you give your opinion on it and say, hey, I can help you with this. I can teach you how to budget. We can go to this class together. And if a dude's really invested in you, number one, and number two, healthy enough to go, yeah, I can acknowledge I don't know anything about money and I'm just kind of doing what I thought, then I'm fine with those red flags because all of a sudden those become caution flags, yellow, and then we could turn those into green flags. That would be my take, AO. But if they're making fun of you and going, you don't need to listen to that guy, then we have a clear separation on values, and that money problem will never go away, even if you get married.
No, and I'm so glad that you said that, Ken. Emily, Ken was going right where I was going. I wrote down two things. Number one, you need to identify what are your financial values that you stand true to. And then while you're dating someone and as you're getting to know someone, you need to see if you're equally yoked in those areas. All right. Because here's the truth. Our Ramsey tribe, our Ramsey way is different from what culture is saying. So you got to identify, is this a red flag or is it a yellow flag? There's a difference between someone who is uneducated, who needs the education, like what Kim was hinting to, than someone who just says, I have the education and I don't care. This is what I want to do. I want to rack up debt. I want to do this. I want to do that. That is someone that, if you don't line up with those values, you need to separate yourself from. Doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them, hey, we're not equally yoked. We're not going down the same direction. Cool beans. Great. But there are a lot of people out there who are just financially illiterate, like you said, taking out the 401k to go do a home. Yeah, that just means he needs education on why that's not acceptable. Swiping a credit card to pay for dinner, that's just unacceptable. And so, I think when we are dating, number one, we have to identify our financial values. The number two is, let's not hold someone accountable and automatically say these are huge red flags and they're a horrible person because they're just not as educated. Just try exposing him to your way of thinking and your way of processing finances. And then over time, if you see he or she, America, whoever you're dating, do not line up with what you believe in, then yeah, you got to separate yourself. Ken, I'm single and I'm not here dating.
I've seen you do this.
Absolutely.
I've seen AO folks like be in serious relationships, and then something that is a big value issue. How much time do you give it?
I mean, I give it a little bit of time.
And what is involved in that time?
Within the first 90 days, I identify, okay, hey, listen, do we have the same values financially? Now, again, I'm 36. I'm turning 37. I desire marriage, sooner than later. I'm about to turn 40. So my value is a little bit different. But for me, my main thing is, do we both agree on avoiding debt? Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, and do we both agree on building wealth and leaving a legacy? That's number two. The number three is, do we really, which should be number one, do we believe in being a good steward and giving the 10%? If we don't agree on those three things, I cannot be with her. She's a great individual, but she's just not my great individual to be my wife.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah, and we don't have time to discuss this going to break, but I'm guessing you do that in other areas of your life as well, not just the finance.
Absolutely.
Here are the key values.
Yes.
And look, it stinks.
Yes.
If you've got a great relationship, but you just go, hey, this is not going to have a long-term potential, so you're out.
Right. Yeah.
I believe the word that he uses, he bounces. I like that. That's positive. That's not a breakup. I'm bouncing to the next. I love that.
Well, I kick rocks.
All right, don't move. More Ramsey Show coming right up.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Anthony O'Neill, and we are taking your questions. It's a free call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. How about we stay in Nashville, Anthony? And Mark is up next. Mark, how can we help?
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
My question is, so I wasn't financially smart with my money previously, so my credit score obviously took a hit. Upon finding Dave Ramsey and other financial advisors, I'm working to build my credit score up and things like that. So I've been paying off debts, working 2 jobs, doing what I have to do. Filing my taxes, I underpaid in 2020. So now I'm set with a bill for about $4,000 with the IRS. Because of the fact that I am still rebuilding my credit, obviously I don't qualify for a bank loan. As of right now, the only thing I qualify for is like peer-to-peer lending, such as like Upstart lending, club, things such as that. So I'm wondering what you guys would recommend. Should I just face the IRS head on with the penalties and fees that come with it? Or should I go ahead and take out that loan with a peer-to-peer lender and pay that off through them instead?
Yeah, man, we're not going to tell you to borrow any kind of money. No matter what the situation is. So let's walk through the process on how do we approach the IRS here with this. I mean, the $4,000 is not a lot of money. Let's be honest. But let's talk about this. What's your income a year right now?
Currently, my income is about $48,000 with both jobs included.
Okay, $48,000 a year. All right. Cool beans. So here's the first thing you need to do, Mark. You need to get with a a tax pro that can make sure that you do not have this situation next year. Okay. I would love to see you break even. And maybe cross the line over and you're getting back maybe $100, $200. But the thing here is we want to see you break even. On my side, Ken and I, we kind of like to break even, maybe just a little bit. But for you, breaking even and maybe getting very minimum back. So that's the very first thing you need to do is get with a tax pro to make sure that you can go ahead and file correctly on your W-2 forms. That's number one. Then number two is what other kind of debt do you have right now?
I have old debts that were in collections that I've been paying off.
Total
auto loans.
Total how much?
As of right now?
Yeah.
Probably right at 1,000. That's what I have left.
You only have $1,000 left total debt outside of this $4,000?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was just for the collections part. I apologize.
Okay.
I have other things like auto loans.
Yeah.
We have 2 auto loans that we're currently paying for.
Okay, you said you and your spouse?
Yeah, my significant other, yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So is this the $48,000 combined income between the both of you?
She has not been working. She is looking, but she hasn't found anything. She just recently lost her job.
Okay.
Within this last month, so she's in the process of kind of starting over and finding something different.
Cool, great.
She's got money that she's put aside. But we don't want to touch it just in case we need it. So that way we have our emergency fund, and I'm still working. So
how much?
We don't want to touch hers yet.
How much do you all have saved aside? Because you said how much do you two together have saved?
Oh, okay. Saved together probably right around 6. That's everything total.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mark. Man, listen. The IRS is something you do not want to play with. If you have $6,000 in your savings account right now, you need to pay the IRS off as soon as you hang up the phone from Ken and I. Okay. Borrowing money from peer to peer, horrible decision, horrible thought. Going to them and paying fees and taxes, not taxes, but fees and penalties on that because you want to keep $6,000 in your savings account. Horrible decision. What I would do is I would take $4,000 of that right now and I would go pay the IRS off. You have $2,000 left in your account. And then honestly, bro, I'll take $1,000 of that, put it towards my current debt right now, and really start eliminating your debt as much as possible. And then on the flip side, your wife needs to get on the phone with Ken next week on his show and let him walk your wife through on how to land a job to get y'all's income up.
Yeah, that's right. This economy, and certainly in the Nashville area, there are jobs all over the place, and I don't even care if it's a job she likes.
Yes.
At this point, we are going to get her employed and start knocking out the rest of those auto loans, and then you guys are rocking your way through the baby steps. But you got to pay the IRS off now.
Yeah, man.
You guys don't need the $6,000. You're fine. She could go deliver pizzas and do whatever right now, but pay the IRS off immediately. Do you understand what we're saying?
Yes, sir. I do appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Well, we're putting you on hold so you can
talk to your wife.
Call the IRS. My
man.
goodness, here's the money right now. Can I do direct deposit on this? It's like boom, here it is. I'm going to be free of the IRS.
Listen,
they're
man.
not going away.
No. And the last thing you do is you don't want them calling your job. You don't want them garnishing your wages. You don't want them pulling money from your account, all because you're trying to keep the money in your account. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's not worth it. Pay the IRS, man.
Yeah. Good advice there. All right, let's go now to Chase, who joins us in Tampa, Florida. Chase, how can we help?
Hey, how we doing, guys?
We're living the dream. What's up?
Same here, actually. I'm working remote at the moment. I tried starting a company, but it failed because of COVID. I won't get into that. I won't bore you guys with the details. Just about paying off the debt that I incurred from that. And I'm about also to finish getting out of a rental situation here. So I don't want to buy a house where I'm at. And I don't want to go sign a lease somewhere else in the country while I decide, do I like this area enough to invest in it or not? Plus, I feel like the housing market is insanely fuego right now. So my question and what I was thinking about doing was, I know this is not an investment, this is temporary, was to buy, because I already own a paid off truck, to buy a really cheap used trailer and sort of, live close to the earth, drive around the country, kind of save money. So like I said, I work remote and figure out where in this country should be like the next place I invest and kind of kind of get to. Does that make financial sense to you guys?
Well, we need more of the picture. What kind of debt do you have? What's your total debt left to pay off?
Just about $8,000 now.
And so this would be so are you paying rent or own a home right now or not?
No. When I tried to start the business and it failed, a buddy of mine owns a home, so I started renting a room from him.
Okay. And what's your income right now? What's your net each month?
Net, just about $10,000.
How much is the trailer going to cost? I'm assuming you looked into it and you're going to hitch it up to that big old paid-for truck?
Yes, sir. So I was thinking about going the super, super cheap route and either buying an enclosed trailer and just kind of putting a bed in it, believe it or not.
Yeah, how much?
Out a little bit. Okay, $10,000.
10 grand for a trailer?
Yes, sir.
And you've got that cash ready to go?
No. So I would be finishing paying off my credit cards, saving that cash, and then buying it, and then figuring out, because with the amount of money I'm making, I don't want to purchase a home where I feel like it's way overvalued here. My friend's home that he's in right now, he bought it 5 years ago for $200,000. It was just appraised for just shy of $400,000.
No, I get it. You don't have to explain that. I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, I would not purchase this. I'm fine with it if you pay your debt off first. You're living in somebody's home for free right now, so yeah, knock out your debt. And yeah, I'm fine with that. That's your home, and you're making good income. Your net, and if save up for it, pay cash, and that's your home for however many months. And then my guess is you're going to get a good chunk of that back. Is that right on those trailers?
No.
No, I would doubt it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought those decent trailers. Yeah. Oh, okay. It shows you what I know about trailers, which I know nothing.
Yeah, because for $10K, I'm either going to be buying something from the 80s or the 90s that's banged up to hell.
Yeah.
Or I'll be buying an enclosed trailer new, and like I said, just kind of putting a pre-made bathroom and a bed in it.
All right, so here's the deal: if you pay cash for it, and that's what you're living in, you're stacking money. Ayo, I'm fine with that. Till he figures out where he wants to go.
I'm cool with it. I would look into an apartment. I'm not a fan of trailers.
Yeah, but he wants to drive around the country and figure out where he's going to live.
Cool. Great.
That's the only reason we're cool with that.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like checking it all out. All right, very interesting. I don't know. That trailer may make him want to get an apartment pretty quick.
It made me want to get an apartment today.
All right, don't move. More of your calls coming up. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined in studio by my colleague, Anthony O'Neill. And our scripture verse of the day comes from Proverbs 16:24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Our quote from Apple founder Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Amen and amen. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Phoenix, Arizona, where Kelly joins us. Kelly, how can we help?
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. I really love all the advice that you give. I'm a single mother. I'm about 47. I've just recently been certified to teach, but I also have a daughter with autism. I have 3 children. One of my children died in the care of her father about 12 years ago, and I spent $100,000 inheritance keeping my kids safe, keeping supervised visitation in place. And I wanted to know, I'm trying to get back into the classroom, but it's hard for me with a child with autism and being a first-year teacher. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of take-home work, and it doesn't allow me to properly, facilitate her services or spend time with her. But I have some assets. I think I have a 401k. I also have Quadro. I have about $15,000 in Quadro assets. I don't have a home or anything. I've had to live with family for a while just because of the situation. But I wanted to know what the best thing that I can do with my money to be set up for retirement is.
Okay, say that last part. The best thing to do with your money, what? You broke up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to know what the best thing I can do with my assets. I've had to keep my assets fluid in case I was litigating, but I'm not litigating anymore. So I wanted to know what the best thing to do to prepare for retirement with my assets would be.
Yeah. That's such a good question. So, and sorry again, your phone was going in and out. How much money do you have again in all? I'm trying to hear it clearly. I want to make sure I have the correct numbers.
And I'm sorry about that. I think I have about $70,000 in a 401k.
Okay.
I have $15,000 at Vanguard in a Quadro. And then I've saved my stimulus money in my tax return. I do have a car, but I have enough to pay it off.
Okay.
And I have about $15,000 in cash.
$15,000 in cash. All right, cool. How old are you?
48.
48. Okay, cool. And you're trying to figure out retirement, right? Like, how do you set yourself up to better win with retirement?
Yeah, because I'm trying to get into the workforce. I'm very hireable as a teacher, but the time constraints don't allow me to be a mother. So I'm looking for a job as well.
Okay, so we got two things there. Yeah. So, Ayo, you want to take on the retirement, and then we can talk through it, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, we got to cover the job first because
I
retirement,
think so too.
I can't really talk about that.
Yeah. So, okay, so here's the deal. You're qualified to be a teacher and you want to be in the classroom, but because of the autism with your child, you're saying, I can't be in the classroom because I don't have anyone else to care for the child. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, there's about 20. I've been taking home. I taught for like 3 months, and the pandemic made it crazy. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to take home as a first-year teacher. I have to preview everything. I have to leave timely comments. I have to scaffold things. It's just a lot.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's not that. Okay, so it's not the childcare issue during the day. It's that I'm not going to be able to keep up with the work because of what I got to be as a mom when I come home. That's what you're concerned about.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Well, but the reality is you got to work.
Yeah.
And now you've got some independence, feels like, from this whole nasty, unbelievably difficult situation. And I'm so sorry. I am so sorry you've been through this. But on one hand, I want to tell you that I believe you can do this. I believe that you can be a mom. I believe that you can get some help at night or whatever, but I also understand that you're way more familiar with your situation than I am as far as what kind of impact that's going to have on you. But if you're not going to be able to teach in the classroom, then you're going to have to go get what I would call a day job. And because of that certification and that training and all of the skill set that you have as a teacher, if you can get a job for a while to kind of take care of the finances and get stable, and then you can get on an investment strategy, and we're going to connect you to a SmartVestor Pro out there in your area that can sit down with you and really go, okay, here's all the different assets. Let's get a strategy for you. But from a full-time standpoint, if you want to teach, at some point you're going to have to jump in is where I'm coming at this. I want to be very sensitive to what you're saying, but at some point, either you do it now or 5 years from now, then you go into teaching. But if you want to teach, you're going to eventually regret this if you don't get into the classroom and do it. Now, I hear from teachers all the time on the Ken Coleman Show that are feeling burned out because of all the paperwork. I'm not minimizing that at all. I just think you have to decide what's best for me right now. And if it's, I really don't think I can be a first-year teacher right now, is that going to change in 3 to 4 years or 5 years with your child, or no?
Yes, it probably will. She's 10, and she's her hormones are kicking in, so it's a little, but it should change. But I am substitute teaching, so I do have income coming in.
Do you have family around you?
I do.
Let me ask you this. What have you talked? I mean, you've done some research because you're worried about all of the paperwork coming home. So you've talked to somebody. You got a pretty good idea on this. Have you taken this to family to say, hey, I'm very hireable. I got an opportunity to get in here, but based on what other teachers are telling me in my first year, I'm going to have a ton of this, and I'm a little bit worried how it's going to affect me in my mom duties. Can you help? Have you had that conversation?
I have. My parents are between 75 and 80 years old, and the behaviors and my daughter is precious, but her behaviors are a little bit much for them.
I get it.
And she also has services. So, and I'm sorry if we're going a little bit long, but
no, it's fine.
No,
it's fine.
But I'm also looking for, I am substitute teaching right now, and even if I had to wait 5 years, I still am looking for something I work in the transition from school to work program. So there's kids with disabilities. Arizona has a really good reputation of dealing with.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I would like you to consider and do some research on other jobs that are non-teacher jobs, but in the education system. So it's what I would call the proximity principle, right? You're in and around people that are teaching. You're staying active. So if it is a 3 to 5 year deal that you got to kind of put this off until you're a different season, at least you're working in the school system. I like that move. Sure. And that certification and training you have also makes it relevant. And they say, well, why aren't you applying to be a teacher? You go, because this is my situation with my daughter. But I want to be in the education system. So therefore, it takes care of the steady income, keeps you in the education space, so it keeps those connections vibrant. And so the moment that you feel like your daughter's turned a corner or that you can kind of get into the classroom and deal with that onslaught of stress in the first year, you've got all the connections necessary. Does that make sense?
It definitely does.
That's where I would go. There's a lot of non-teacher positions.
There are. I worked as a teacher's aide for a long time, but it only pays about $12 an hour.
Well, I know, but so now that's where we go, okay, wait a second, we can't do that. But right now you're just doing substitute teaching, which isn't paying that great. So I'm saying, like, you're working in maybe the district school office, there's the school board, maybe you're working, again, in the office, so you're a teacher aide plus a receptionist plus. If you dive into this and figure out how I can work 40 hours a week in the school system, I'm telling you, you'll get in. And that's what you've got to do, and then it takes that pressure off, but you've not completely removed yourself from the field that you want to be in. Let me just say this. I mean, you've had quite a journey.
Yeah.
And you can feel the pressure still on you. And I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself here in this time. The strength that, Kelly, that you have exhibited is it's indescribable to me, Ayo, what she's gone through, losing a child, all kinds of legal battles, the challenges with her beautiful daughter. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And this isn't just hey, Kelly, you can do this thing. This is, you got to make sure you take care of yourself in this as well so that you don't flame out. But you'll get there. I would stay in the education field. Wow. Unbelievable. Hey, Ayo, always good to hang with you, brother. Appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
I want to say thanks to James Childs, our producer, our associate producer and call screener, Kelly Daniel. But most of all, you, America, thank you for joining us. This has been The Ramsey Show.
Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.